Hey guys, so I was trying to stream some Spellforce 3 multiplayer, but unfortunately my internet cut out. So instead I'll figure I'll just do like more of a YouTube video. So it should be more concise, try and get through things a little bit quicker, but I am still figuring out this game myself. And a lot of other RTS players have been playing it on stream. You know, Artosis and Taste have been getting into it, but I have not watched anything. I am just going into this head first. I did play the campaign, but if there's, I guess, one thing you should know about Spellforce is that there's the Spellforce campaign game, which you buy, and then there's the Spellforce multiplayer game, which doesn't require you to buy, but has, you know, gives you one free faction, and then if you want the other factions, you have to buy the campaign or buy the full versus thing or something along those lines. It's a bit confusing. I don't really appreciate it, but apparently they got a goal to change that up and actually combine the two games. But anyways, so this is the multiplayer, which is very different from the campaign. I do think the campaign's pretty cool, and I should have an upload of that, my Twitch stream, doing the campaign. It's more like a top-down RPG though, but it is cool. But this is the multiplayer versus RTS. We're gonna get into it with some very passive AI 1v1. So I tried a little bit of the Orc, which apparently has more like a Zerg feel because you build everything from like your capital building. And I guess human is kind of the default campaign, but like I said, the campaign and the multiplayer are very, very different. So if you're like, oh, I'm looking for a new RTS to play against people, make sure that, you know, you get the versus and then try it out, and then if you do like it, then you buy the full versus. But anyways, so we got the humans this time around. So you do start off with a scouting unit, and you can see that the map's pretty large. So far, I would say that this is more akin to a Warcraft RTS than like the StarCraft RTS or Age of Empires, just off of very, very initial feelings. So you got your town center, you can build wood, and you have like a finite amount of workers, right? So apparently we had like 4 plus, so we had 8. But we're gonna need not just woodcutters, but also hunters. And there's also a farm, but we can't get that yet. Then you have stone, and then, you know, your barracks. And apparently a belay, I don't know what the fuck that is. Provide shelter for your troops. Oh, it's like a house. That's how you get more supply. So these are our resources. As you can see, we're at 2 of 20 supply, but there's a couple of different resources. The basic ones, whoopsie daisy, are the ones that we already have. So there are mobs on the map, which is why I'm kind of like comparing it more so to Warcraft, and you do have heroes in this game as well. I mean, it's been pretty cool experiencing it, but in my opinion, it suffers from one thing that a lot of non-Blizzard games suffer from, which is that its visibility and readability is still kind of low, in my opinion. It's actually not the worst. I'm not saying it's terrible. It just is not. It really makes you appreciate what StarCraft has in terms of how easy it is to read the screen at a pretty, you know, a second or two glance. Whereas this screen is more like, okay, I need to like figure this, and then what's that, and then there's a hero screen, and then on top of that, the actual silhouettes of the units aren't very, very strong when you compare like the melee soldiers to the archers until they actually, you know, show that they're range versus melee. So we have more scouts, and we can start building infantrymen. There is an upgrade here. You go from a town center to a city center. You can also upgrade your workers' armor, which I'm not sure if that's actually a good thing. My intuition says that it's not, but I don't know this game, so I have no idea. And apparently now that we have a barracks, we can also build arbalists, which are archers. Crossbowmen, whatever. So let's start building some infantrymen. They take food. And what I also learned about this game is that it's a game where you can queue up stuff before you have the full amount of resources, I think. So if you have 6 fish, if it costs 6 fish and you only have 4, you can still queue it up, and then it'll get stuck once it's used the 4 fish. I think. I can actually test it right now.
Our provisions are running low.
So you can see as the infantry is starting to build here. We'll try and keep an eye on that. And then you can change up how your civilians are working. We've gotten more civilians here, so I'm going to start a stone cutter. So we're actually getting fish while we build here, so I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to show it
We need more
100%, but I'm gonna try. So yeah, this guy starts building, but as you saw, we had like a negative right there until just now, and I think that it would have stopped at a certain percentage with that negative. But anywho, after that, now that that's done. So we also have a Godstone here, which is almost like your hero's tavern, you know? It's the thing that is on the map that gives you the commanders. So we can just be a Wolfguard commander or Royal Mage. You're gonna go with the hardy-looking guy. Gal, maybe? I don't know. Seems like a bit of a paladin. It's got auras. And that is your hero. But the Godstones can also teleport. So there's a couple flags on the map. You can go out with your army, kill whatever is guarding it, and build up outposts, which are kind of like expansions light, almost.
Orders?
And then we now have a hero that we can also upgrade and give inventory to. So there's her inventory, I think. And then we have either combat arts or battle tactics. So ability points 3. I haven't read any of these, so I'm just gonna quickly glance over them. Tenacity. So these are, some of these might be auras. So allied creatures around cast or heal 50 health per second. When attacking an enemy, cast on self. Okay, so we can cast an aura on ourselves is what I'm reading from that. Like almost we can no, it's actually just, it's not an aura. This is an aura. So that's just a cast. And then we can get an aura. So let's get an aura, and then we can all ability cooldown 15%. And our abilities are on the top bar here. You can make control groups, which you can see down in the bottom left, actually. That if they're highlighted, it means I have control group something. So I got town center, barracks, all that good stuff.
Come on, this way.
We can try and kill our first unit here. So these auras are active. They're not just something that you have at all times. It requires your focus points, which are like non-mage mana, right? Like rage or something like that.
Our heroes grew stronger.
And then we did level up. So we can get tenacity and deep waters. And then I don't know if you can eventually upgrade your attributes, or if that's a campaign thing, but since it's in the multiplayer version, I imagine eventually we'll unlock that. Speaking of unlocking things, we now go into a city center. Scouts, better equipment. I don't think we need that. So now we're gonna capture this outpost, and then create a scouting post. Pick up this bag, by the way, which has a potion in it.
I am at your command.
And when that's done building, we'll have ourselves, like, again, like a mini expansion. So we want to be building an iron mine eventually, once we have level 2.
Yes. Orders?
I think we need to stick around to actually get that. And then this is actually just a freebie, so nothing guarding it. You see like pigs running around and stuff. It just, you know, signifies like what's available near you as far as food goes. You actually can see in your region, in your sector, how much of each resource is available, which is kind of neat. But then that does obviously mean that we run out of resources eventually, and that is the case. It's not indefinite. I don't know if you can get the second guy at any point, but I'm gonna find out one of these days. So let's make some arbalists. Definitely not doing a good job of macroing, but that's what happens when you have to actually use tooltips. It's not gonna look so pretty.
Orders? Through here.
So win on the upgrade. Don't need any more barracks or houses quite yet. Watchtower, I think the same thing as most watchtowers in any RTS. Forge allows upgrades. The iron mine needs to be gotten, which is only available out here. There's nothing in my base for that, so that's where these guys will come into play, as you can see. Once you build something, whatever's available in this little text right here, they'll just be like, oh, something needs to be built, let's go to it. And then they'll automatically fill it up too. So it looks like we're shy a couple of resources. Oh, no, we
Yes,
go.
we move as a pack.
Which also means that we can get a little bit more like food going. This guy's not doing very much. Would be incredibly helpful, but it's something.
I'm at your command.
And you can see where people would have, you know, build orders and strategies in this game that I obviously don't have any. So we can't build a forge quite yet. We're actually out of lumber. I feel like we're gonna need a woodcutter maybe?
Orders?
Did you say something?
You can allow additional training of advanced units such as champion to keepers. That's a mini upgrade. And then a support garrison allows additional training of advanced units such as medic and catapult crews. That sounds pretty neat.
Building completed.
I don't think I'm ever going to get scouts better equipment, but perhaps I underestimate the power of a scout. Honestly, I should be scouting with the scout. I just got lazy. So let's shift click it. I think shift click works, but don't quote me on that. I'm going to find out. Now, everything requires civilians to be involved. So you can see the barracks actually has a couple of civilians as well. They're drill sergeants. So if I built this forge, I would need to reallocate things. I want to continue expanding. So this map's pretty big. I imagine what happens is that these two are given. This one is pretty much yours, but then you start fighting over it, and you can send little hit squads out to take your opponent's outposts. I don't know how much they can be defended. Again, I'm guessing you're gonna have to go ahead and put some watchtowers up there. Apparently, they continue to be upgraded. A frontier outpost provides, fortifies it and increases population limits, so I can do more out here. Which I probably should have done, actually, as opposed to building a forge over here. But that'll do. That'll do. It's fine.
This brings us closer to victory.
The outpost has been built. We've expanded our borders.
Scout's doing all right so far. Forge has been built, but yeah, again, I'm out of people, which is problematic. Now my food is doing all right, so I'm going to take away hunters for now. Like I said, I probably should have just built it elsewhere if possible. I'm actually not sure it is possible, but whatever. But now I can upgrade stuff, so eventually deal more damage, health, range, damage. Keeper's Zeal. Keepers can enter a stance in which they fire blessed blasts. Alright, that's some weird shit. I don't know what's going on there, but apparently we can now make cavalry units called Keepers. Because we upgraded it earlier. Now what else can we continue on with? Refinery allows the researcher of even more advanced economic technology, so have a tier 1, then forge is like just like your engineering base, and then refinery is helping you on tier 2, I guess, more so, and then eventually you can get to tier 3, which is a citadel. So again, more so reminding me about Warcraft than anything else. So our food's doing all right. We don't have a lot of stone, which apparently this does have, so let's build a stone cutter. And let's kill some mobs, because, oh my god, they killed my scout! Fucking rude. And I can show you guys that you can teleport with these, which is pretty cool. As far as the amount of micro that is involved, definitely not equatable to Warcraft at all. The actual combat's more so, I guess, like in Age of Empires, maybe? Or StarCraft, I guess. But, you know, I have a hero, so I'm guessing the better players do actually use, you know, micro and body blocking. Makes sense, but I don't think it's going to be equivalent to Warcraft. So yeah, we can click on this and decide to teleport, which is free apparently. Click on another teleport that we are in presence of, and then just go on through. Pretty cool.
Yes.
Looks nice. I don't know how it works offensively though, if that means that
I am at your command.
I kind of control that now, or anyone can use it. I have no idea.
The outpost has been built. We've expanded our borders.
So I don't have enough iron is what it was? Yeah, iron's a very slow resource, I guess. Alright then. You can see the resources you can get at each outpost here.
We move as a pack.
Okay, alright. So we have another Aria, which is the final resource that we can get, which I don't know much about. We can try upgrading one of these to see what it's like. And then I guess we just have to be very patient when it comes to iron. Oh, these keepers look pretty baller. Yeah, it's all steel to upgrade. Alright. We need more houses, actually. What is it? What are they called? The Let's Blaze? I have no idea. So we went to a frontier outpost. From a scouting post to a frontier outpost, and now we're gonna go into a fortified outpost. Alright. Now I imagine, I guess, that this, you know, the skulls without spikes are probably a-okay to tackle. The skulls with a couple of spikes are not so difficult. These guys are very difficult, and this guy's probably a big old boss. I think I've figured that one out. One thing I will say about this game is that it is fairly intuitive. You know, you're gonna have questions and be like, wait, what's this, what's that? But you actually can figure it out pretty quickly if you play video games. I haven't really had trouble asking a question and then getting an answer just by myself within, you know, span of 30 seconds. If that means anything to anyone out there. Doesn't look like I really need more bricks. I need more iron. So I could build 2 iron places in similar proximity. Okay. This might be worth it. I'm gonna try and tackle one of these spiky things and just pop our aura to help out a bit. See how the cavalry's doing. Pretty cool. We're winning that fight, alright.
Our heroes grew stronger.
We leveled up because of it. Trains elite ground and flying units, the academy. So our woodcutters are gonna run out of wood anyways.
Building completed.
No, it hasn't said I've run out of wood, but I should run out of wood eventually. But I have a decent amount of wood, so I'm gonna actually take 2 off to prepare to go to the academy.
This brings us closer to victory.
This is a very fortified outpost. I'm gonna actually build a watchtower. See what happens. You know? Build more keepers. They seem pretty cool. Someone's gonna be like, actually, they're the worst unit ever, and I'd be like, that's fair.
The queen has placed her trust in us.
Let's see what a real spiky boy can do.
Come on, this way.
Can I get there? How do I get there? I gotta go like completely around? I guess this is more my spiky boy, and then that other one's is the other guys. Okay. Fair enough. I don't know how long these games typically last. Got another aura. Let's get 2 more auras, just cause. Audacity and tenacity. So empowered. Empowered means it's a boon, attack damage, and power multiplier. Armored gets resistances. Okay. So this does have some iron ore, which would be very useful, and I guess our scout didn't fully scout that, so we're not really sure what's going on. Stone cutter, I mean, if you really want to get all the resources possible, it's an RTS. I'm just going slow because I don't know what I'm doing. Finally got an academy going. We do in fact have griffins, so again, Warcraft. But that's fair. It's a very good RTS. Oh, we didn't actually capture that. It's the only kind of play I really have. I mean, these freebies, when I click on them, I shouldn't have to re-click on them because they're free, and I should just automatically get it. But I guess you don't want to misclick on it accidentally. Which is good, because I need an iron mine.
The Queen has placed her trust in us. I am at your command.
Need to actually get the humans
This
for
brings
it.
us closer to victory.
Looks like we don't have... Academy requires workers. I didn't actually fill them up. That was my
The
bad.
outpost has been built. We've expanded our borders.
Yes?
So you got 2 more over here. Some wood would be nice. I'm actually using my resources at this point. Haven't upgraded in a little while. Probably should be the next thing I do. Look at this! Got ourselves a griffin! Now, there's nothing on the griffin.
Our population is at maximum capacity.
Efficient against both aerial and ground units. So I wasn't sure if the house needed people in it, which would seem counterintuitive, but I don't know. But it doesn't, so I'm just gonna place that at home.
Orders? The Queen has placed her trust in us. Yes?
This also has iron.
We need to gather more wood, Commander.
Well, you know, get on it. Seems like a you problem.
Our population is at maximum capacity. We need to expand.
I don't even know where, like, this other guy's not doing very much, but that makes sense. I put him on passive, so he's probably doing literally nothing. Let's kill this other one. So you do have an A move here. But it's not, unfortunately, it's not A move. Which I would love, but it's not. Oh, it is! Great. Okay, so in the campaign, it's not. Thankfully, in the multiplayer, they knew better. So you can't A move in this game. You also got stop and aggressive stance, follow. Alt brings up a wheel. You'll go in a slow motion, but I do believe it can't possibly be a thing in actual multiplayer, but I don't know. Maybe they make it work somehow. And then you can actually like look around and see what you want to do on a wheel, as opposed to remembering where everything is and clicking. This also means that if it's like the campaign, let me find another monster because I killed these way too fast.
The outpost has been built. We've expanded our borders.
I don't have anything for inventory.
I am at your command.
Let's get, there we go, there's a spiky head.
We move as a pack.
Now we have a fatal blow, deal 200 damage and interrupt. Seems nice.
Follow.
Let's see what we got. So if you click on this, if you alt-click, you not only get an option to do things to the monster, as you can see here, but it also tells you what it's resistant to, which is kind of neat. And again, I feel like I'm not sure how that's gonna really work in multiplayer with other people on a, you know, the sense of time, but it's doable here. And that kind of covers this game in general. As you can see, there I didn't actually have 40 wood. It gave me a red sign, but I could still click on the upgrade, and it'll just use whatever wood it does have until I get more. So it puts me in a negative, and then bounces up from there. So definitely like another RTS, but I just can't place switch RTS. But very not like StarCraft. There you go. And that's kind of the basics. So I don't want to make this video too long, in case you're just like, what is Spellforce? I don't know, IDK, but I think we covered how it plays out. It feels pretty nice. If you're wondering, like, does it look a little sluggish? Is it, you know, it is. Nothing's as quite as snappy as the StarCraft and Blizzard RTSs, to be honest. There's a reason they dominated the RTS market basically the entire time. But it does actually feel pretty solid. Units move like you would expect them to. And, you know, it's got a lot of cool factor.
We move as a pack.
Actually some pretty exciting things. You're like, oh shit, like that's really cool. That's really cool. I want to get that. I want to try that. And it does have a bunch of different factions, but again, it's kind of weird because if you want to play in the multiplayer, you have to, like, first of all, download the Versus, which is free, but then you only get one faction. It's randomized. And then you can get the other base factions if you own the campaign, but if you want to play with, like, Dark Elves and Trolls and something else, then you have to actually get, like, the $15 full Versus game, something along those lines. It's not insanely intuitive, but the game itself is actually pretty intuitive and pretty cool, and I can see why Taste of Narcosis are playing it, why RTS people like it. And it does have a competitive scene as well. A couple players were in my chat earlier before it borked out, saying, that there's a tournament happening this weekend. They got a couple people covering it, so it's pretty exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed the overview here. And sorry about the stream messing up, but this YouTube video kind of covers it in a faster way anyways. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.